Call the meeting of the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners, December 7th meeting to order, please. Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vyers.
Here.
Commissioner Schobel.
Here.
Commissioner Mee.
Here.
Commissioner Fry.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Vice President Morrill.
Here. Jane Hodgkinson is at home recuperating from a knee surgery that she had, I think it was a week ago. She's doing fine, but upon doctor's advice, she's really supposed to stay at home and take it easy. So we wish her well. Any presentations? Any community input? Nope. Consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion, Ray. Striking item F. We don't have those minutes. Move to approve items A through E. Approval of disbursements totaling $966,288.71 for the period beginning November 11, 2015, ending December 1, 2015. Approval of November 18, 2015 regular meeting minutes. The November 18, 2015 BAO hearing minutes. Approval of the December 2nd, 2015 Building and Ground Committee minutes, and approval of the December 2, 2015 Finance Subcommittee minutes.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Ray, I'd like to see item D pulled. I have some corrections to that. So take that separate. The Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee minutes.
Yeah, since you didn't have a chance to review them yet, John, I believe that's the case, did you?
Well, I reviewed them today, and there's some stuff
Why don't
that
we
is...
just pull them and then put them on next week?
I'll amend my motion.
Person who's second need to amend? Okay. Can voice vote, or no, let's take a roll call eliminating items D and E.
D and F.
E and F, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Vyers.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee. Yes. Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Vice President Morrill.
Yes.
And John, I know it's quick turnaround on those, so that's
Yeah, that's
just
all right.
easy.
Unfinished business, number one is an ordinance number 2015-08. Can I have a motion?
Move to approve ordinance number 2015-08, an ordinance levying and assessing the taxes of Wheaton Park District to Page County, Illinois for the tax year 2015.
Second.
Any discussion? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vyers.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Vice President Morrill.
Yes. Number two, ordinance number 2015-09. Can I have a motion on this?
Move to approve ordinance number 2015-09, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2015 to pay the principal of and interest on $9 million taxable general obligation park bonds, alternate revenue source series 2010 of the Wheaton Park District, DuPage County, Illinois.
A second.
Second.
Any discussion? Mike, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Vyers.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Vice President Morrill.
Yes. And item number three, ordinance number 2015-10. Can I have a motion?
Now move to approve ordinance 2015-10, an ordinance making a combined annual budget and appropriation of funds for the Wheaton Park District for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2016, and ending December 31st, 2016.
Second.
Any discussion? Mike, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Vyers.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Vice President Morrill.
Yes. New business. Item number one, bid results and recommendations regarding the demolition of the Blanchard Road House building.
I'll move that the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners approve a contract with KLF Enterprises for the Blanchard House demolition in the amount of $22,400.
Second.
Any discussion? That was my office for about 20 years. Glad to see it go.
Good thing you're not sentimental.
Glad to see it go. All right, Mike, I think this is a roll call.
Yes. Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Me?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Vice President Morrow?
Yes. Item number 2, approval of expenses over $10,000 and under the bid limit of $20,000. Can I have a motion in regards to this?
Move to approve the distribution of event proceeds for Brewfest, $18,160.28 payable to the court-appointed special advocates of DuPage County, also known as CASA.
Correction, Terry, I believe that their share is 580.14.
Okay.
18,580.14.
All righty. It's going from
correct.
what I'm seeing in a minute, so I
Yep.
will amend the motion accordingly.
Apologize for the
No big deal.
error. Second on the.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. Any discussion?
And Mike, can you just run through what were the final numbers? I guess we're paying them because we take all the money in and then we pay them their share.
Correct. It's essentially a 50-50 split, as all of our special events with county and local nonprofits.
Okay. So our share was, we took in like 37,000.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
That gross is about 90,000. We keep that 36 you're talking about, at least last year we did.
Half. 18.
Wait a minute, Mike, what correction did you want to make?
The share we're approving is 18,580 and 14 cents on the memo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I make an error on my?
So versus the 18,160.28?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Any other discussion, questions? I think this is a voice vote. It's under the bid limit. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Number 3 is approval to negotiate with ANPI for the purchase or lease of a cloud-based phone system. Can I have a motion to authorize Mike to do this, our director?
I move that we authorize staff to negotiate with ANPI for the purchase or lease of the cloud-based phone system.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, this is, if I'm not mistaken, last month we authorized Mike to approve with a different bidder, and we weren't able to reach agreement on contract terms with them, so staff has come back. And I think the two prices were almost the same last time, so.
Correct.
Is that correct, Mike?
That's absolutely correct.
And that was Nextiva, correct?
Yeah, Nextiva was not interested in using the contract that our legal counsel provided as part of the request for proposal documents, and they proved to be somewhat difficult to work with our legal counsel. So after almost a month of that, we decided we would stop attempting to pay them a lot of money and go to the next person.
And then we'll still see the contract and whether
That
we're buying
contract's
or
next
leasing.
month.
We'll see all
You'll
that.
have a decision on buying or leasing, and you'll have the price and the contract next month for approval. We just had to undo what we did last month.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
All in favor of directing staff to do so?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. Number 4 is a discussion of looking for a consensus for capital expenses related to providing ice surfaces supported by the Central Athletic Center chiller as the Park District's 2016 capital budget. And John, I'll let you lead the discussion and start it off for us.
Okay. Just find my copy. Yeah, this came up at the, as you know, we bid the chiller project, and that's, the project is to provide air conditioning for the Central Athletic Center gymnasiums. And due to the size of the building, we learned that the chiller would be big enough to also help us make ice out on the athletic fields in the wintertime. So we have that budgeted, part of it in 2016 and part of it is in 2017, I believe. The estimate that we had to air condition the building back when we were doing the construction project was about $400,000. And we've gone out for bid, and the bids came in ranging from $500,000 to about $700,000, I think was the range. We had 14 bidders bid the chiller project. But we're about $100,000 over budget. Part part of that is due to an increased length of where we have to run. The staff has laid out where they would like the ice, and in the budget, we just figured to get the pipes out to the retaining wall. We've got escalation costs over the past 3 years from when the original budget was done. And we've included putting an enclosure around an outdoor chiller. At the time, we weren't sure whether we were designing an indoor chiller with a cooling tower or outdoor. We've decided to go outdoors. So the next item of business is going to be to award a contract, but I thought it would be helpful for us to have one last round of discussion and make sure everybody's committed to, this is the project they want to do, use this size chiller so that we can make ice in the future. And what's the total cost of the ice? About $250,000
About $500,000.
per sheet. So if we do 2 sheets of ice, we're looking at $500,000. And the fact that we're making ice adds about $90,000 to the cost of it, were we to just air condition the building. So,
John, if I may, Rob, there's an economy of scale at building 2. We pay more for 1 than we would for 2. Is that accurate, or am I off on that?
With the cost, it's probably going to be the same regardless as when we go in, we engineer, and we have to level the surface. So to create a level surface for 2 sheets, that's where your economy scale comes in.
So it's in the civil work? Civil work is where the economy is?
That's
Okay,
the civil
thank you.
work, and we already have the capacity in the chiller based on the building to cover 2 sheets of ice. So we're buying that regardless.
Just wanted to provide the clarification. It's going to be about $500,000
so
for 2.
the size of the chiller is being driven by the size of the building. It just so happens that chiller is then going to be big enough to make 2 sheets. But this project there's a lot of money involved, and once we buy the bigger chiller, there's some extra components that have to go into the building that wouldn't go in if we weren't committed to the ice project. So we could change the design of the chiller, and we could step back. And, before we vote on this chiller, that's why you got the memo with the budget pricing for all of Central. And we just want to make sure that this is something the entire board wants to do. We have new board members over when we originally started budgeting this. And, I thought it'd be good to have a discussion before, so that people aren't surprised later on. If nobody has any questions, or if people are still committed, we're going to vote to award on the next. And then staff will go ahead with the design of the ice, and we could phase it in over time. We could do 1 sheet and then add another. If we don't buy this chiller that's capable of making the ice, we won't be able to go back. We'll have to do portable chillers. So if we're pretty committed to doing some kind of ice, even in the future at the athletic center, then I recommend we put in this chiller with the bells and whistles we need to make ice.
I'm still in favor of moving forward.
May I ask a question, John?
Yeah.
If either of you or Rob, if we do, my memory's not working today, I apologize, but if we do go ahead and do the portable chillers, meaning independent of the building air conditioning cooling system, what's the cost for that chiller on top of that we wouldn't be paying otherwise? If that doesn't make sense, I apologize, but
It would be more money to do
Buy a
that.
trailer-mounted chiller that we can pull out there and do 1 sheet of ice is about $125,000.
we're in for 90 here, or possibly if we want to do 2 sheets, 250 later.
If we don't make the decision to have the capacity to make ice with this chiller, it's going to be more expensive to move to a supplemental chiller outside to do it, if we decided to move forward in the future.
Sounds
So,
like a no-brainer, really.
we all talked about having a nice skating facility and if we have to budget in another year, that's fine, but, we might as well get advantage of the 1 chiller that gives us the option to do both.
So I only have a couple questions about this.
Go ahead, John.
The first would be, do we have to identify something in the budget to reduce our expenditures on in order to make up for the potential cost overrun on this particular project? And then the second would be, if and I'm in favor of having the ice there, I think that would be great. But just from a parking standpoint, if we're running programming and we've got we're drawing a fairly sizable crowd to use the ice, would we run into problems with parking there as well? So,
Rob, why don't you walk through everybody should have got that budget sheet in the memo, right? It was in the packet that was delivered on...
It was the Friday packet that was delivered, not the
Was it the Monday packet?
No, it went on Monday with
It was
it.
the Monday packet.
The whole thing went in together on Monday because it was tied to
The
the,
bid results, and then there was a memo from Rob that laid out the entire
Is it there?
cost of the athletic as budgeted and what we've spent so far. And
Probably because I got two of them in my packet.
oh, he's got it. We thought you might lose one.
so, to answer your question, we're going to be right at the total cost. We won't have much contingency. So, when we move forward, we might have to say, well, we'll delay part of it a year, we'll look at other areas of the budget where we'll take it from. We were running under budget on that athletic center, mostly because we were over $100,000 under budget on the lighting portion of the project. So we're still right within budget, but we don't have a lot of contingency if the ice project comes in more than expected.
Second question I can address. As those of you that visit the Central Athletic Complex know that when we're programming 50,000 square feet of space, parking is tight over there. The solution is number one is street parking. Obviously, that doesn't make neighbors as happy as we'd like. But through an educational effort, a communication effort, and a signage effort, nights and weekends, I don't know how many, but it's got to be over 150 parking spaces in that garage between DuPage Medical and First Trust. There are parking alternatives if somebody wants to walk a half a block. And we just need to direct people there. And I'm glad you asked because this is, I'm a ex officio member of the DWA, and the issue of parking has come up a lot, and the issue of working together with the city and the DWA and the chamber to actually provide better signage to direct people and better communication to direct people to these parking garages that sit in some cases in some days and times of the week empty because people want to park right on top of where they're going. I think that's something the community needs to get together and do. Is there enough parking? Yes. Is it right on top of where people want to be? No.
Any other questions, comments? Let's move then on to number 5. Looking for a motion to approve the bid results for the Central Athletic Center chiller.
I move to allow staff to award a contract to Voris Mechanical for the base bid, plus alternates 2 and 5 for a total contract amount of $503,806, and to immediately bid out the duct insulation portion of the project, so that can be performed before the chiller is installed.
Second by Mark. Any discussions?
Ray, we have to decide, are we going to, do you guys want to authorize Buildings and Grounds a limit on if changes pop up, or
Great
are we
idea.
going to have to call a supplemental meeting to get something approved quickly? I would recommend 5% contingency, let Buildings and Grounds approve, and then have it ratified at the next board meeting.
Go along for that,
Or if you
right?
want to do less or something like that, otherwise we'll be calling for meetings to approve changes, and
reasonable.
we don't want to hold up the job.
Sounds good.
Is that good? Okay.
That just needed a consensus, I think.
Mike, take a roll, please.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Me?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Vice President Morrow?
Yes. Item number 6, lease of property for recreational purposes at a cost of $7,500 from January 1st through December 31st, 2016. Information is in your packet in regards to this pond and adjacent area. It's on Tomahawk Drive.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mike, you want to run through just your reasoning behind this again?
Sure.
Spending the $7,500.
Sure. And for full disclosure, that'd be a total expenditure of about $20,000 per my memo. The balance of the $20,000 would come out of the existing operating budget in the form of labor. budgeted already in the Parks and Planning Department. Long story short, I began discussions with the owner of this entire property probably over a year ago concerning his interest to sell, and that evolved into not wanting to sell, and we discussed it, the purchase opportunity of the property, the appraisal for the pond alone came in and was not sufficiently high enough in the opinion of the owner to warrant his selling it right away. We then moved to possibility of a one-year lease to see how things go. To the reason why this is probably one of the only spring-fed ponds in DuPage County not in the public trust. It has pretty significant ecological benefit. Most of the ponds that we all know and love around here are man-made and not natural. So that's half of my reasoning, is the possibility of, through this lease, of possibly saving this natural area in perpetuity, whether it be through a longer-term leasehold or permanent leasehold, or eventually a purchase if our relationship goes well with the owner. Secondarily, there's great access from the Prairie Path, and the opportunity to provide winter sports as well as fishing opportunities in that area doesn't exist. And it seems like a reasonable cost to put our toe in the water, as it were, to see if there's a possibility down the road of improving our services and a possibility of saving a gem of a piece of property in the long term.
So this is 1 year work.
1 year commitment, see how it goes.
Do we intend to put a sign saying it's Wheaton Park District?
Yes, but we're not going to put, for 1 year, we're not going to put one of those $5,000 jobbers up. We're going to do it a little cheaper than that. We don't want to have to move in a year if things don't go right. But it will be maintained. The pond itself will be maintained. The peripheral natural area will be, some invasives will be removed, access will be improved, and I think it's a neat opportunity for us to crawl before we walk on a possible investment.
Mike, how hard would it be to get ingress and egress from the Prairie Path there in cooperation with the Forest Preserve?
You know, the Prairie Path, what would probably have to happen at this point in time, based on my discussions with the owner, is we would seek approval from the county to put signage along the Prairie Path, directing them around at the next block. At this juncture, he's not comfortable with having us build a switchback up to the Prairie Path and deforesting that area. That's something that we can move to in the future, but certainly letting people know that, hey, if you go up to this next exit and turn around, you're, quarter of a mile away from a really cool fishing hole and ice skating pond.
What about the impact of the residents there for their parking?
Well, I think we're good. It's a good point, Mark. It's used by local kids now.
I know it is. It backs up to my practically. I used to go there to skate all the time.
Right. You may know. It was Bessler's, then it was Sheehan's. Now it's Bessler's again. But that's when you were skating out there. At any rate, there's street parking there, and there's parking in that Circle Drive where the American Water Tower is. But there's always going to be additional cars if we make it more attractive. If we go the long term on this thing, almost immediately adjacent to this is a little triangle of a park called Arrowhead Park that does nothing except, get litter picked up, has a nice sign on it, and we cut the grass. If we become, recreational providers in that area, we have room there to create some well-done parking should the need arise. But that's why we're starting slow. That property is not used as a park. It's essentially an extension of a couple people's yards. They might be bent out of shape if we do it, but it's by no means a done deal. I think we'd have to monitor it.
We're going to monitor how much usage it gets?
Yeah, correct.
Any other questions or comments? I think this is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Approval of the 2016 board meeting schedule.
Correction, before we go into that, I believe we've got a couple of Scrivener's errors. May is actually the 18th, and June is actually the 15th. I believe the rest are accurate.
To approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Is everyone okay? Is what it is. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Reports from staff. We'll take all these reports from staff, adult ed, special events, and any department reports. Start with John. And John, do you have any comments on any of that?
Nope.
Mark?
Yeah, good report, by the way. I noticed that the Shakespeare in the Park's never making any money. Is there any Shakespeare in the Park?
It's a free event.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you want her to address it, that's fine.
It's a free event, you're right. It's not one of our revenue producers, but it's free. It's a partnership with Wheaton College that we're trying to build on each year.
Sponsorship.
Great to offer free events, but I mean, our goal should be trying to make money off of them. You know? And that leads to my next question with the adult education report. 2 years in a row, we're in a deficit. You know, we had that problem with the senior program, and now this one's operating last year 36,000 and a half in a deficit. So in the year prior, you're at 21,000. What are you guys going to do to turn that around?
For the revenue, sir?
Yeah.
So with the revenue, it is down in 2014, and that is due to the cooperative partnership that we had with Whole Foods, as well as the cake decorating. But in 2015, if you look further into the board report, annual report, that you'll see that we're on trend with participation raising. So that will raise with the revenue as well, and as well as more trending programs for the adult education and adult population of Wheaton.
So you projecting that you'll have a profit next year?
We'll do our best.
It looks like 2014 shows a profit of $3,300. If you look on page 3.
2014 you did, yeah, you're right.
So that's a big jump from the negative 21,000. So that's a $24,000 turnaround.
Well, yeah, it's trending in the right direction, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that's, what I'm saying is that the two numbers, the prior years, that concern me the most. I mean, is the program going to grow, or is it?
The program's on the rise, as you could see from the year of 2012 to 2013 to 2014, that it is trending in the right direction.
All right.
I may also add that Matt is responsible for increasing the program over those years. He's a relative newcomer in relationship to the program, and if his boss is here. I was going to say if his boss Vicki was here, I know she'd attest to the excellent job that Matt's doing in creating new programs, and I believe this will become one of the last programs that we are underwriting within the next couple of years. We'll have it in the black pretty steadily with Mr. Roble at the wheel here.
Thank you.
All right.
Terry, or do you have anything else? I'm sorry, Mark.
No, that's all I had.
Thanks. Terry. On any of the reports,
Yeah,
guys.
okay, so we're doing them all. Thank you for the annual reports,
time and get
Matt,
through it.
very informative. That executive summary is very helpful for me. Same with the special event annual report, just a couple additional comments, beyond the exec summary, which is very helpful. I noted the same thing that Mark did in terms of Shakespeare in the Park, but I do understand that we're trying to, grow that relationship with Wheaton College, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next year, right? So I think it's wise that we dump the wine and cultural arts event. That wasn't going anywhere. But, I think Mark pointed it out, and I really like the sustainable business approach, model that you're using. And most of our events, did make money and continue to increase in revenue. So that's significant for us, I think. And I like the fact that you aim to break even prior to the day of the event to ensure profit, and the day of sales income is revenue. I think that's pretty cool. But the fact that we're continuing to increase our revenue is excellent. But I do like the fact that we're looking at some of these events, with a critical eye. Do you want to say something about that, Mark?
No.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for the annual report. I wanted to make mention of that $100,000 donation pledge for Phase 3 of the Sensory Garden. It's getting us there. How much more do we need for, Phase 2? How much more do we need for that, Mike?
If we come up with the match for the second 50,000, we will be 150 short in pledges to be able to put a shovel in the ground for Phase 2 in 16. And we've already had some interesting conversations with some folks. I've got a foundation in Roselle that just expressed some interest. And we are putting on a new development director first of the year, a fellow by the name of T.J. Hicks, who has some pretty solid background with the Children's Museum and in a university setting, and brings some new and unique talents to the district in the form of videography and things of that nature. You may recall receiving an a video appeal for Cosley Zoo last year. Mm-hmm. A very well done video, and that was done by Mr. Hicks as a volunteer. And then, can someone answer the question? Was the video we saw at the social last week, was that done by? No, it wasn't done by him. No. Okay, but anyway, we expect great things out of him, and it was an exhaustive. Margie can attest to it. Interview process to find the right person.
So he's on board.
January 1,
Gotcha.
or 2, whenever the Monday is.
Question for someone. We've hosted the post-prom events for Wheaton Warrenville South and Wheaton North at the community center for years, and all of a sudden we're not hosting that for 2016. It looks like their decision, not ours, but they want to come back in 2017. What's the deal on that? Does anybody know?
Mary Beth?
I'm going to go ahead and let Vicki go ahead and answer the question.
Try something different in 2016. I think they're going downtown Chicago on the boat, but they've asked us to do 2017.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll come back after that adventure downtown. Okay, thanks. A couple other, special mentions. I think that reindeer run continues to increase in, interest and certainly in participation. I think that's phenomenal. And I saw that, we've got, $27,800 in sponsorships secured. Is that for the reindeer run?
Correct.
That's good. Arrowhead Thanksgiving dinner looked like that was a big hit this year.
Yeah.
So either people are not wanting to do it themselves, or we're doing a great job at Arrowhead, or a combination of both.
We'll take the latter.
Okay, we'll do it. Once again, we killed it at Cosley Zoo again this year. I mean, those numbers are pretty phenomenal. I don't know how much the weather has to do with it, but it doesn't really matter because our revenues are continuing to increase. The pass revenue, what happened there? The pool pass revenue was a significant difference in this year over last year. For Black Friday, $100,000, $33 and some change, and versus last year, $65,643. And was there something unique that we did this year that raised that? Could anybody answer that?
We have an
Global
outstanding marketing department is basically what it
Oh,
boils down
that's
to.
Margie's taking the credit for that. Well, that's pretty significant. I don't know, maybe people want to swim this year, but I think that's going to help us. And I see that we got Ryan's doing a good job at the community center. We continue to grow the fitness center membership, and that seems to continue to increase every month. So commend to a combination of the staff. That's all I had.
Mark, you had something else?
Well, what is pickleball?
Football?
Don't ask.
Don't ask. So pickleball is a combination of badminton, tennis, and ping pong into one. So it's played on a badminton-sized court with a net the same height as a tennis court net, which is, I believe, 32 inches, and roughly the same type of paddle they use in ping pong. And I'm surprised they don't mention wiffle ball because it almost looks like a wiffle ball that's a little bit harder plastic that's allowed to play indoors, and then one that's also allowed for outdoor play.
Oh, okay, yeah,
You're free to come. I'll give you a free pass on
We have it
Wednesdays.
recorded
Come on
at-
by, and I've got extra paddles.
The newest
Can
craze.
we do this?
No, we have a court at Atten. When we redid the whole court system there, one was installed. Was it two? One was installed or two was installed, Rob? Was it on one on either side of?
I thought we did two.
We striped it. We striped the
We
one.
talked
Yeah.
about this a couple meetings ago, or last meeting, whatever.
My memory is
Saturday meeting.
obviously shot.
Was that the Saturday deal? Yeah.
Whether we're going to go ahead and keep
Anything
striking
else,
them
Mark?
or not.
Yep, that was it.
Anything else?
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Bob? Anything?
Good.
John?
Hope you already asked me.
No, I didn't. I never asked you. I asked the other guy. I asked the other guy. Down there, Fry
I
eye.
didn't know you started that.
Always go from left to right. A few things real quick. I attended the all-staff meeting that the staff had on November 19th. And that is a great event, continues to be a great event. It's where all the staff, full-time and part-time, get together and talk about the Park District and where we're at and where we're going, and recognizes people for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, et cetera, of service. And so it's a great event, and if any board members in the future have an opportunity to go, I highly recommend you do so. I want to wish, before we adjourn, everyone a happy holiday season and a safe holiday season. We won't be back until 2016. A couple things with the special event report. I really am pleased with the staff and how they partner with other organizations and the Chamber and the Downtown Business Association and various nonprofits. And according to the report, we've given over $125,000 to these organizations in the past year to help them in their efforts to provide services. So that's fantastic. And they also indicate that the economic impact to the city of Wheaton is over $7 million based on criteria that they follow and estimates that they think they probably are generating for the community. $7 million is a big impact. I appreciate in the adult ed program report the cooperation and cooperative program agreements that we have with Bloomingdale, Carroll Stream, Winfield, and Glen Ellen to try and help promote the adult ed program to do exactly what Mark was looking for, more participation and greater revenue sources. So that, I think, is a great idea. Whenever we can partner, I think it's a good thing. So again, wish everybody a happy holiday, and I have nothing more. I don't believe we're going into executive session. So if I can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're done. Thank you.